Hello YouTube and welcome back to another everyday fitness video. Today I'm going to walk through how to make gaining weight and muscle mass easier. Gaining muscle mass, gaining weight was something that I struggled with early on with my goal. And it wasn't until I delved a little bit deeper, realised it was my mindset towards nutrition that was holding me back. And when I understood this very simple idea, it wasn't until that point when adding muscle mass, adding weight became a lot easier. And I'm going to walk you through that right now. Before I walk you through what's potentially the issues holding you back from gaining weight, gaining muscle mass, what's making it harder, and how to change that, let's just first pinpoint the very fundamental need for adding weight, adding muscle mass, and that is being in a calorie surplus. To be putting on weight and to be putting on muscle mass, we need to be in a calorie surplus. Okay, and a calorie surplus is simply having more intake, so taking more calories in than we're burning. That's the very fundamental need of adding weight, adding muscle mass. Now, why that's important to understand is because if over time your weight isn't gradually increasing, if your weight isn't shifting at all, you're simply not in a calorie surplus, okay? Now, weight doesn't have to fly up quickly for you to add muscle mass. It doesn't. It can be a slow, gradual increase, but that slow, gradual increase needs to be there at least for you to be adding weight and adding muscle mass, okay? So if that isn't happening, you're struggling to see any change in weight over long periods of time, then chances are you are in a calorie surplus. And now I'm going to walk you through what's potentially holding you back from being in one, making it harder for you to be in one, and therefore see the results you're after. Quite a big part within the fitness industry tries to ram this idea of healthy eating down people's throats. Now, healthy eating, yes, is important in terms of we need to be making sure we are including nutrient-dense foods within our diet. However, when it comes to gaining muscle mass, one issue of having a very, very big focus of healthy eating, if you don't understand the concept of, a balanced diet and being in a calorie surplus, is that a lot of these foods that are seen under this bracket of healthy eating are very high volume foods and quite often sometimes low calorie dense foods. Now, the issue you have with having high volume foods and potentially low calorie dense foods when you're trying to add muscle mass, add weight, is that it's going to be hard to eat a lot of those foods, enough of those foods to put you into a surplus, okay? You might be getting very full, hunger might not be there at all, which might mean you're finding it hard to enter that surplus, okay? You need more calories, but because of the type of foods you're eating, you're struggling to do that. And that was an issue I had. I had an actual potentially poor relationship with food early on, in that I just thought I had to be eating completely healthy foods, which now I know when I've delved into it more, been more sensible about it, that just doesn't need to be the case where all you're eating is foods that come under that bracket, which doesn't even exist as healthy eating. It's until I started following this idea of this 80-20 sort of nutritional lifestyle, let's say, okay, where 80% of our diet will focus on having high, nutritious, good quality, call it healthy if you want, foods. Okay, in that way we're making sure that health is still a big priority because we're getting these good nutritious foods in. But 20% of our diet is being a lot more flexible, maybe having diets that aren't so nutrient dense. Okay, foods that perhaps for a lot of people come under this bracket of not so healthy, even though we want to move away from that mindset. But what that allows us to do, especially when it comes to trying to add weight, trying to make sure we're in a surplus, is within these 20% of our diet, we can have very low volume, very high calorie dense foods, which is going to make it easier to get those calories that we need in to put ourselves in a calorie surplus, to be feeding ourselves enough calories to get the result we're after. This whole idea, of an 80%, 20% and nutritional lifestyle is good just for general adherence, flexibility to a diet anyway, because if people are having this 20% flexibility, then adherence to the diet is going to be better. They're going to enjoy what they're eating a lot more. But when it comes to a surplus in particular, having this extra 20% where it's basically sort of what you want to allow or to make it easier for you to hit your calorie target to ensure you're in that surplus is very, very, very beneficial. So it's very simply moving away from this healthy eating sort of mindset towards more of a balanced, flexible diet that not only allows us to get very good nutritious food in, but also allows us to make it easier to hit our calorie goals. Okay, it makes it easier to get more calories in through our diet. Once you have that balance, not only are you going to be prioritizing health, but you're also going to be prioritizing a surplus where you need to be to add weight, to add muscle mass. Hopefully this video has helped. I know understanding this, realizing this, having this view towards nutrition helped me personally. So hopefully if you're there struggling to add weight, struggling to find yourself into a calorie surplus, hopefully switching to this sort of view towards nutrition will help you too. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you do like the video, please drop a like, and please subscribe to the channel to follow more information and videos like this. Take care.